everybody. I hope you're doing okay. What I've got for you today is going through um, what you need to have ready for the AP exam for us, which is May 22nd at 2 p.m. This is very similar if you're taking other AP exams to what you've already probably talked about with your teachers, but I did want to go ahead and give this to you. I'm going to apologize in advance for two things. One, there is a cat laying next to my computer right now, so if all of a sudden he starts purring in the middle, you may hear that. And there's also a trombone lesson going on in the other room, so you're just going to get a little background noise on this. All right, so this covers a lot of the same material that you got in an email from Mr. Snyder on May 1st. It's just I'm going to go into a little more detail with it, and for those of you that need to hear it explained versus just reading 85 bullet points, I got you this way too. All right, so how to get at the AP exam. All right, so we know our test is Friday, May 22nd. You need to log on a half hour before our test time. All right, so 1:30 Eastern, everybody needs to be in their seats. All right, so that's 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central, 11:30 Mountain, and 10:30 Pacific. All right, so everybody needs to be up and awake and caffeinated and in their spots. All right, and then we start at 2. And it will just immediately click over. You don't have to do anything. You're going to get an email 2 days before your test. So on May 20th, you should get an email from College Board, and it's going to look like this. And that little yellow button right there, you click that on the day of your test at 1:30, and it will go through. It won't work until then. And then, I mean, duh, it's your test, not anybody else's. Like, if for whatever reason your email didn't come through, like a classmate can't forward it to you. All right, you will have a different ticket for each test that you're taking. And then, so just, this is what your screen's going to look like. You've got the exam demo. This is from the demo screen, but this is what it's going to look at. The important part is that time left down at the bottom. So for the first question, timer's going to pop up. It's going to say you have 30 minutes. So you have 25 minutes to read and write your answer. And then the last 5 minutes of that 30 minutes is to submit your response. At 30 minutes exactly, the second question will appear and you can't go back to the first question. So if you haven't hit submit off of that first question, you are SOL. You will not get a score for that first question. So please do not push it. All right, as soon as that timer goes, start taking your pictures, do what you need to do, and you have 5 minutes to upload. All right, for the second question, you've got 20 minutes. You have 15 minutes to take it, and then 5 minutes to submit. And that you're going to have that timer down at the bottom. I would keep that visible. The only thing that's going to be a little difficult with that is if you are taking this on your phone. If you are taking it on your phone, they're already saying you're going to have to scroll up and down to see everything. So just heads up on that. But if you're taking it on a computer, then the window should be big enough that you should be able to see everything. All right, it's going to start blinking at you when that 5 minutes are up in both sessions. The timer's going to turn red, tell you to submit your work. In theory, you can keep going, but I wouldn't, especially if you're doing pictures. If you're taking pictures of your work and uploading them, I would very much start as soon as that 5 minutes up, because I'm afraid that's going to take you a little while, especially if you're going to have multiple pictures. All right, so like I said, if you run out of time, you are out of luck. They're not going to take, the only issue with that if you don't finish is if because it was a technical difficulty. So your computer freaked out, your phone stopped working, whatever, then you can request a retest. But if it's just because you ran out of time, there's nothing you can do. And we've talked about this some if you've been doing the practice tests that I've been posting on Canvas. But they are going to give you more questions than you can answer in the time frame because they don't want people sitting there bored and waiting for time to finish up. So do not panic if you don't finish the question. You won't. Submit what you have done. All right, so just go ahead and post it. It's okay if you had to skip something. You can still get a 5 and not finish the question. All right. So down at the bottom, you've got 2 things. You have to decide when it's time for you to put your stuff in there, whether you want to submit your question, if you want to do it by attaching, or if you want to do it by pasting. So you're going to have your test in like a Chrome, usually Google Chrome, but whatever browser. The only thing you can't use is Internet Explorer. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later. So if you're going to do if you want to write on your test, you have to have scratch paper. The way this is set up, you can't like draw on it with a stylus or anything like that. And you can't type directly in. You're either going to attach a file or you're going to copy paste. That's the only way you're going to be able to submit your scores. So you can't type in their window. All right, so here are your options. You can either copy and paste something that you typed in Google Docs. I would advise against using something like Microsoft Word or Pages because you want to use something that will automatically save. Because otherwise you're going to have to save every 30 seconds because you know how Microsoft Word does. Sometimes it will just randomly crash. And if you lose all your work because you didn't save, you are going to not be a happy camper. So I would use something like Google Docs where it auto saves for you. So you can copy and paste. You can attach a typed response. That can be a PDF or a Word doc, or however you want to do it, and then or you can attach your photos. All right, so I know this says this is the option I recommend, but hold that thought for a second. Sorry about that. I had to let the cat out. He got grumpy. Okay, so this PowerPoint says this is the option I recommend because it's easiest and fastest, because you won't have to do any uploading. You can literally just cut and paste. However, for math, that's a lot more difficult. And you can't mix and match. So you can't do like some calculations on scrap paper and then type some stuff. You have to pick one method or the other. Now, you can wait till you actually see the question to decide. So you could have a Google Doc window open and notebook paper and be like, you know what, this is mostly writing. I'm just going to do it in Google Doc. Or, hey, there's a lot of work I need to show here. I'm going to use notebook paper. You can change, and each question can be different. Question 1, you could do Google Docs. Question 2, you could do notebook paper. It's up to you, but you can't mix and match within the question. So if you're going to do it, the best way they're saying to do it is when you open your test, put your window for your test on one side, and then put your Google Doc or whatever else on the other side, so you can see both at the same time. And that way you can see the timer, you can see all your work. Thing works. Oh, one thing. The wrong button. If you use Grammarly, you need to disable that. If you're for whatever device you're using, it freaks out. It's something doesn't work well with the College Board system. So if you have Grammarly, you do need to disable it for your tests. Once you're done, you can put it right back on. Okay. The second option is you can attach a document, and you can do this one of two ways. This could be your Google Doc, your Microsoft Word. The other thing is, since this PowerPoint was created, they did actually change it where if you wanted to take pictures and submit them as a PDF, which some of you have done, you can do that. But it has to all be in one PDF. And if you have questions on that and you want to talk to me about it, I'm happy to help you. Just shoot me an email. So you could second way you could submit your work is to upload a file, and then the third is to take pictures of your written work and then upload it. If you're doing it on your smartphone or your tablet, that's pretty easy. You can just, it's right there, you can take it. If you're doing it on a computer and you want to take pictures with your phone, you can. You just have to have a quick way to get pictures off of your phone and onto your computer. So it could be, if you use Google Photos, you can just go in and auto upload and that'll go through. You can email them to yourself. You've got options. You can drop them in Google Drive. Those are all good options, but whatever you do, you're gonna want to test this out. We'll talk about the demo in a little bit. The demo is already live. Please go through at this weekend or next week and figure out what works for you, what you're comfortable with. All right, so all of these are in here. I am going to post this PowerPoint if you want to go back and click links or read over some of this, so you'll have it as well. All right, so computer screen, two windows side by side. That's the easiest. The big thing is just make sure you can see the timer. All right, now the other thing is whether you are typing your documents or whether you are doing pictures of your documents, you have to put a heading on there on every piece of paper or every page of your document. So if you're typing it, you want to go ahead and put a header in there with your initials, and then you're going to have an APID number. It should be on the confirmation email you got this week. If you didn't get that email this week, I posted a link. I sent it to you guys on campus today about how to go in and change that. So you can go in and get that set up. Okay. And for if you're doing the handwriting stuff, I would go ahead and set up paper. So pre-set up like 10 or 12 sheets of notebook paper or computer paper, whatever, could be a legal pad, whatever you need it to be. I would go ahead and write your initials and your number on each page. We would do this normally during AP test. You'd write it on your booklet because they'd separate it out. And I'm really concerned about this being an issue with you submit your pages and on a question and say you only write your initials and College Board ID number on the first page. I don't know that they'll grade the rest of them because they need to make sure they have to tie it to you somehow. So please be real careful with that. Make sure if you're going to do handwriting that you go ahead and do that early. Set that up ahead of time. You don't want to scramble and forget to put that on there. If you're going to type your answers, set up a heading or a header or a footer and put that in there and make sure it shows up on every page, not just the first one. All right, so on test day, you will check in at 1:30. They're going to ask you some questions. It's not like you can just sign up a minute before. All right, so get in there at 1:30, go through their questions. That way, if there's any tech issues, you have time to work them out. And then you're going to wait for the exam to begin. My guess is they are going to ask you to take a picture. I'm not 100% sure. They haven't told us what they're doing, but I would expect that you are probably going to take a picture off of a phone or a web camera or something like that. I know they're going to have you type some things so they get an idea of your word cadence as well. So just heads up on that. And like I said, the exam will start. You won't have to click refresh. You won't have to do anything. Right at 2 o'clock, it's going to unlock. The nice thing is we are the last exam. They will have worked out all the bugs by the time this rolls around. So for us, this should work pretty smoothly. You know, Monday's test, who knows? But for us, we should be pretty good. All right, so it's 50 minutes. Okay, so this is the big one. You, depending on who is with you, wherever you're going to test, if you're testing at home, if you're choosing to test elsewhere, you want to ask them to please limit their use of bandwidth. Meaning, if you have to ask younger siblings to get off of Fortnite, do it. Nobody should be on Netflix. Nobody should be on YouTube streaming videos, any of that kind of stuff, because all that's going to do is just slow your upload speed down, and you need everybody to kind of cut you a break. Obviously, you know, normally test in a quiet environment, remove distractions. I would go ahead and cut your phone. Do the do not disturb where it turns everything off, not just like when it's locked, because that way you won't be distracted. Make sure your computer's plugged in if you're using a computer. The last thing you need is like halfway through your test for your laptop battery to die. All right, so make sure that's plugged in. And have the checklist and required documents next to you. All right, so the checklist, the formula sheets are going to get, you can get at them now off of the College Board website. I decided I'm just going to go ahead and mail a set to everybody. So I'm going to give you a hard copy because I didn't know who had printers and who didn't. So I'm going to go in probably Monday and get all that set up and send it to you guys. So you will have everything you need from me for the test. All right, so tech issues. Good news is, if you have a tech problem, it's fine. They will let you retake it in June, pretty much no questions asked. You just have to fill it out and tell them what happened. I don't think they're going to push back on it. So the good news is, though, if you just close your browser, your phone crashes, your internet craps out for a second, it's fine. Just click on your ticket again and it will re-let you in. I don't believe you have to go through the security questions again. It should be pretty quick. If you feel like it was an issue, if you lost a lot of time, if you just got really freaked out and couldn't think straight after it happened, you can request your makeup. And in the middle of the screen there where it says cb.org/request makeup, that is the only place you can go to request a makeup test. Do not call them. They are not staffing their call centers. They because it's just they can't right now, and it's faster if you just do it electronically. So the only thing where that would be a super issue is if you've completely lost internet and you can't even get to that. And in that case, we're going to have somebody calling the school and talking to Mr. Schneider. He can help fill it out for you. I'll probably give you guys my number too, and you can call me if you need to. All right, so what resources can you use on test day? Pretty much anything except another human being. I mean, that's pretty much it. You can use your class notes and study guides. You can use your textbook. You can use, your previous tests that you took. You can use your calculators if you have them. If you haven't downloaded that Inspire and you want it, go to grab that out of the Distance Learning Resources module. If you want to use the same notes as someone else, you need to download them onto your own device, meaning if I took notes and I wanted to share it with somebody and I put it in a Google Doc, we don't want to both be accessing the Google Doc at the same time. They are going to be looking for cheating. They told us they already caught somebody that was making plans to do it. My guess is he was posting about it like on a subreddit and they found him that way. I don't know what they're using to search. They're not telling us mostly because they don't want you guys to do an end run around it. But just be careful with that. I've seen the videos like, so everybody's going to cheat on the AP exam, like that kind of stuff. Don't do that, please. All right, you get to use all your stuff, use it, resist the temptation to call a classmate. All right, it's also part of the reason why I said put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Don't be doing that. And the first thing on here, I will say, they have said that you can Google. Like, they're saying the questions aren't Googleable, but the issue could be if you find something on their internet and you copy it word for word and 5 other people copy it word for word, you guys are all going to get dinged on the cheating recognition software. So they're going to be using things like Turnitin.com, that kind of technology to be searching. So they'll look for things that will flag that are the same. So be careful with that. And the other thing I will say is they're right. If you spend a lot of time Googling, that's time you're not answering questions. And you only have 25 minutes or 15 minutes. That's going to go like that. So you want to make sure that you are taking your time, using the notes that you have, set them up ahead of time. One of the things I'm going to send you is I'm going to post them on Canvas so you have access to them early. But the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a copy of basically completed one sheets for all 10 chapters. So you have that quick resource to flip through. So you want to make sure you have all those ready to go. You might want to make your life easier because, okay, I know some of y'all. All right. So if your notebook is a hot mess, or you don't even have a notebook, you just have a giant folder, you're going to want to set yourself up so you're super, super organized just for this one day. For this 1 hour and a half, you want to be super, super organized. So maybe get a thin 3-ring binder and put holes in everything, put it in there, put tabs in it, highlight, do whatever you need to do, but you don't want to be flipping through papers trying to find what you need to help you answer the test question. Okay. Oops, went too far. All right, so the exam security stuff. They're going to scan everybody's exams using the plagiarism detection software. They're going to send it to me. And they're asking us to kind of look and be like, that looks different. That's not something we've talked about. They are saying that if they do find out that you've cheated, they're going to report you to your college admissions office and they're going to cancel your AP exam scores. So, FYI on that. All right, these are the big things that you need to do. So first, if you haven't been getting emails, click on that link I sent you in the Canvas message today, or follow this and update your college info so you can get your emails in time. All right. Then you want to check your technology. You want to make sure that you don't have Grammarly enabled. Google Chrome is your best option, but Safari and Firefox will work, along with Edge. Don't use Internet Explorer. And if you're handwriting, make sure you have everything you need. Make sure it's writing dark enough. Make sure you have the ability to take clear pictures. Practice. All right, you kind of have been doing that because you've been taking pictures of your Twizzes and uploading them, so I feel like most of you are probably okay with that, but double check. Now, other thing, if you are using an iPhone, you need to make sure that your pictures are not in that HEIC mode. All right, that's what it defaults to. I am going to post a very short, like 10-second video with this in Canvas that shows you how to turn it off. But basically what you want to do is you want to go to Settings, you want to go to Camera, and then you want to go in and change it from most compressed to the the JPEG mode. I'll show you the video and I'll post it. It was in that email that Mr. Schneider sent, the steps for that, but I'll make sure I post it as well once I'm done with this video so you have that. All right, if you have not done the demo, please go do that. It opened on Monday, and so you can walk through how to upload it. And you can do the demo as many times as you want. So try it once uploading a document, see what that feels like. Try it once uploading a picture. Try it once cutting and pasting. See what works, and try those out and see what you feel like is the way you want to do it on test day. All right, and it will also double check that your device is going to work, because we'd rather find out now that something's not working with your computer when we can still fix it versus the morning of the test. All right, so use whatever you're going to use. The demo is at cb.org/apdemo. Again, this was in the email Mr. Schneider sent you. And then your ID, you just want to use the word practice and go through and test out and see what it looks like. All right, on exam day, you're going to need your email. You're going to have your checklist, which I'm going to I will have the document up. You can get the document off a College Board. I'm also going to send you a paper copy of it. All right, then you've got your browser. You want to make sure your internet is up and working. If you're going to type your responses, you want to go ahead and have your stuff open, your file ready to go and labeled. If you're going to do pictures, you want to have your notebook paper out. You want to go ahead and have it labeled so you're ready to go. And then whatever you want to use, if you want to use calculator, if you want to use your notes, study guides, textbook, whatever, you can have it out. All right, and then the last thing is to make sure you are getting your emails. So on May 4th, on Monday, you should have gotten an exam confirmation. If you don't have that, go log into College Board, make sure your email settings are enabled, and then check. If you have any issues with that, get in touch with Mr. Schneider, and he'll get you squared away. If you haven't checked your spam folder, sorry, my brain derailed there for a second, check that other folder on your email account. That's where most of my College Board emails have been going. So go ahead and check that and make sure that's set up. All right, 2 days before your exam, you're going to get your AP ID and e-ticket for your test. So that will be on Wednesday, the 20th. You will get an email, and that will have everything you need to take your AP exam. If for whatever reason that email doesn't come through, you can log on to your College Board account and still get access to it. So that's an option as well. All right, all of these 5 steps are listed on that checklist. Like I said, I'm going to post this so you have a link to these, but I'll also post the document. Now, there is actually something you need to do after the exam. So you have to decide where you want your score report to go to. And so on July 15th, when they release your scores to you, they're all in your College Board account, they're also going to release them to your colleges. If you want it to go to a college, you need to log into your account after you take the test, but before June 20th, to select the college you want to send it to. If you do it before June 20th, it's free. If you wait and you forget, then you got to pay $15 to get it sent to your college. So just go ahead and do that as soon as after your test you can. All right, and then just as a heads up, I will get a copy of your answers on May 26th. One of the things I'll be making sure is to make sure everything's legible and you can read it, and everything you get credit for the work you've done. All right, so that's all I've got for you right now. It has a lot of the same info we talked about. There is a testing guide that AP Central put out that you can go through that walks you through step by step. All right, you want to look for your test ticket, all that information. There's links to the AP demo. And so during the test, same things we talked about. And after the exam, make sure you go back to My AP. So you've got more links here in this email. Again, this was sent, Mr. Snyder sent this email on May 1st. So just FYI on that you have it. All right, everybody. If you have questions, shoot me emails. Let me know what's going on, and we'll sort it out. I have complete and total faith in y'all. I know you're going to rock this. So good luck, and you should be. So once you've completed the new material, which most of you have done, I still have a few of you that are working through some of that. If you haven't, get on it. I need that work by the 13th next week to close out grades. The FRQs, I've been putting sample tests up. The first two have been separate ones. What I'm going to use this coming week is the one that the College Board posted. So if you haven't been looking, College Board has a YouTube channel set up, and they've been doing review videos, so go and check those. You should be hopefully working through the StatsMedic account too. That's got it's got a diagnostic test that you can take, and then you can go and look at specific units that you need more help on and be working through all of those. I am going to offer some review sessions next week and the week after in the evenings. Probably, I'm hoping to do late afternoon or early evening, just so we can make sure everybody with time zones are good. I know most of the art classes are done, but I know some people are still doing different types of things like that. So I'm going to try and keep them later just to make that work. And we'll go from there. So good luck with your other AP exams. Good luck finishing up the school year. If you have any questions at all, shoot me an email. If you just need to see a face, shoot me an email and we can set up a Zoom meeting. I miss you guys. I'd be happy to chat for a little while. So take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.